ceiling fan above the courtroom rotated slowly, lazily, as if it were mocking the rhythm of my heartbeat. Measured, deliberate, unimpressed. I sat alone at the petitioner's table, fingers interlaced, face unreadable, while she sat across from me glowing like someone who believed the outcome was already decided. My wife, or whatever version of her remained. Her new boyfriend rested his hand casually on her knee, his thumb tracing lazy circles, practiced and confident, like this moment had been rehearsed. She leaned toward him and whispered something I couldn't hear. He smirked. Then they both looked at me. Not with shame, not with fear, but with victory written plainly across their faces. The bailiff announced the judge's entrance, but the sound barely registered. My attention was fixed on the thin envelope resting on the table in front of me. One page, a single sheet of paper that carried more weight than every lie she'd ever told. The judge adjusted his glasses, reviewing the case summary I'd submitted late the night before. Her attorney flashed me a smug smile. The kind people wear when they think you're trapped. Division of marital assets, the judge began. Specifically, the 7 vacation properties in the Florida Keys. She lifted her chin and spoke before being prompted. "They're ours, Your Honor," she said proudly. "He doesn't deserve a cent," her boyfriend added smoothly. "We're planning to start a family using those properties." I didn't react. Not outwardly, not inwardly. The judge turned his attention to me. I nodded once. He opened my envelope. His eyes moved across the page. His eyebrows rose. His lips twitched. And then, unexpectedly, he laughed. A short, sharp sound of disbelief that sucked the air out of the room. He looked at them, then at me, then back at them again, as though trying to reconcile what he just read. "Well," he said quietly, almost amused, "this is interesting." Their faces drained of color, and for the first time I allowed myself to breathe. I used to think betrayal made noise, something breaking, cracking, shattering. But it doesn't. It's silent, like oxygen slipping unnoticed from a room. The suspicion had started months earlier, not with drama, just absence. She stopped coming home before midnight, stopped responding to messages, stopped meeting my eyes. I told myself it was stress, work, life, anything but what it was. Then came the details she didn't hide well enough. A hotel key card buried in her purse. 2 wine glasses left on the counter when she thought I wasn't home. Her laughter, lighter, sharper, when she texted someone who wasn't me. Denial works, but only temporarily. The night everything crystallized, she came home smelling of unfamiliar cologne. She said, "I'm exhausted," and walked past me as if I didn't exist. My chest felt hollow. My thoughts went cold. I wasn't angry. I was calculating. The next morning, her phone lit up with a message preview. "He doesn't suspect anything. Keys signed. He'll never know. Keys, plural." Suddenly, everything aligned. Her sudden interest in family investments. Her pressure to move the vacation homes into joint management. Her insistence that I sign documents faster than I could review them. They weren't just betraying me emotionally. They were trying to erase me financially. Completely. I didn't confront her. People lie harder when they're cornered. Instead, I became quiet, observant. I requested copies of every document I'd signed over the past year. I accessed property records, reviewed bank statements she assumed I'd never touch. And the deeper I dug, the clearer it became. She and her boyfriend, her coworker, had been shifting assets under the cover of marital restructuring. She forged my digital signatures, redirected rental income, attempted to alter ownership of the Florida properties without my knowledge. Outwardly, I remained calm, the devoted husband trying to save the marriage, as she told her friends. Internally, I was assembling the truth. I hired a forensic accountant, traced every transaction, recorded phone calls, legal in our state, recovered deleted emails from our shared cloud. Then I found the message that sealed everything. "Once the houses are ours, he's gone. Divorce will be clean, clean." I stared at that word for a long time. I felt no rage, only precision. I compiled it all. Every forgery, every altered document, every affair-laced message, every financial crime casually committed between hotel stays. By the end, I knew exactly what needed to happen. I didn't need to expose them. I needed the judge to do it. The morning of the hearing, I placed everything into a single envelope. At home, she barely acknowledged me. Too busy celebrating an early victory, browsing listings for a future home with him. They joked openly in the kitchen about the life they'd build using my assets. I walked past them and said simply, "Court tomorrow." She didn't even look up. Back in the courtroom, when the judge finished reading my letter, he set it down slowly. He looked at her, then at the boyfriend, then back at her. "Mrs. Hale," he said, "are you aware that you submitted forged property documents to this court?" She blinked. Once, twice. "What?" Her voice fractured. The boyfriend stiffened beside her. These documents, the judge continued, tapping the page, detail a months-long scheme involving forged signatures, illegal property transfers, and fraud against your spouse. She stammered, tried to speak, but the judge was already reading her messages aloud. Her face twisted, her hands shook, her breathing turned shallow. The boyfriend's jaw clenched so hard I could hear his teeth grind. I sat still, detached, controlled, exactly as I intended. The judge leaned back. This changes everything. He turned to me. Mr. Hale, based on the evidence, all 7 vacation properties remain solely yours. Additionally, this court is opening a formal investigation into fraud and marital asset manipulation. Silence, then panic. Her whisper barely carried. Please, don't do this. I met her eyes for the first time in months. I'm not doing anything, I said calmly. You already did. The boyfriend stood abruptly. Sit down, the judge snapped. He did. For the first time, they were quiet, afraid, small, exactly as truth makes people. When the hearing ended, I walked past them without looking back. Outside, the air felt lighter, cleaner. People think revenge burns like fire. It doesn't. Feels cold, precise, liberating. I didn't win anything that day. I simply reclaimed what was mine. And as I stepped into the sunlight, I understood something clearly. She never destroyed me. She revealed me, the part that stops hoping and finally starts seeing. I pressed the elevator button. The doors opened. I stepped inside, leaving them behind in that courtroom. Pale, shaking, buried by the truth they tried to hide. I walked away without a sound, and that silence was the loudest ending they ever deserved.